brought it out. Thanks, Scott.
Let me start with Anthony. I saw you at the bar last night, and fans...
Why are you gonna tell people our business? See, you know?
So many stories, let's start that way.
That's not the story. The story is, I saw fans buying you drinks. And I've always wondered, for all of you guys, how often does that happen? Have you ever paid for a drink at Star Trek Las Vegas?
The first one.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't want to presume. You get the first drink and then the rest flow, and it's then it's just getting out of there to your hotel room alive.
I can honestly say last night was the first time I've ever let somebody buy me a drink, because I'm not really, I drank my fill in college.
Who was she?
I got a girl, slow down, slow down. Who was she? It was Dominic Keating, me hanging out with him. And if y'all know Dom isn't gonna turn down a drink, so I was like, all right, I'll hang with my brother and not make him sit there, so it was great though.
Connor?
Yeah. There it happens often. It's a delicate balance. It's a cliff you have to walk the edge of. But it happens often. And thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. At the end of the day, thank you.
All of you. I apologize for wanting top shelf booze, but when you ask.
Vaughn?
Yeah, it happens a lot, but like Gary, you're trying not to let it get out of hand, or you won't walk out.
You won't walk out, you won't show up the next morning.
They don't really want you to walk out, though.
No, they don't. Yeah, but, and again, thank you.
Guys, I want to talk Star Trek, but let's put it off for a couple of minutes. I want to go way back. Why acting? What made you pursue the craft? Gary, why don't we start with you?
I was pre-med at UC Irvine, and I met a girl. And so many tragic stories start that way.
Chicks do actors?
I just followed a girl into an acting directing workshop and thought that was fun, and she was fun, and I turned around and I had a career. That's the short story, but that's what happened.
That was Laurence Olivier's story too, but... Vaughn?
Well, I was kind of a little hoodlum. Not sexual stuff, but, you know, my mother wanted me to do something more positive with my time, so she said, I'll give you $10 if you audition for this play. Wow. And so I did.
I've never been paid for an audition.
I did, and, you know, I got it, and I got in there, and there's all these women, you know.
Yeah.
So I got into the department and got some positive reviews, won some scholarships to Pasadena Playhouse, two of them actually, but I didn't take them, and I got drafted instead. But anyway,
thank you for your service.
Yeah, I didn't do it on purpose. But that's kind of it, really. The teacher saw something in me and you know, helped me out. So money and women is why I got into acting, actually.
Yes,
Money and women.
And Connor?
I was playing football in college, and I met a girl.
Wow.
It seems to be a through line here.
And she said what?
Oh, I met a girl at a party. I was playing ball, and I really wasn't happy playing ball anymore, and she, over the course of a conversation at a party, said that I should audition for a play. Prior to that, my experience with acting, or theater in general, was we'd gone to a funny thing happened on the way to the Forum as a child at a community theater. It was as good as you think it is. And then I had taken a girl to a touring production of Cats in Portland, Oregon. No, we also, my senior year in high school, did a roundtable read-through of Our Town, which was kind of like line by line. Prior to that, I had no experience. So she was like, yeah, you should audition for a play. And I said, you gonna be there? Yeah. I never saw her again, by the way.
Her boss.
But she's seen you. There's
Yeah, maybe, unless she was an angel.
There you go. And Anthony, what about you, buddy?
I started at IUPUI. I'm from Indianapolis. Hey, got some boys here. Indiana University, Purdue University at Indianapolis.
It's the longest.
It was a community school. And if I got my degree from the IU division, then it would have just been from there instead of having to go to Indiana University, which is about 45 minutes away from where I was born. Or if I got the degree, if I wanted to go some engineering degree, then I would have gotten the produce side of it. I didn't know what I was going to do in school at all. I only went to school because I was fighting to get my daughter back in my life, and I signed up for general electives, and I was walking down a hallway, and a guy is coming toward me, and he said, "My God, you're beautiful." Like,
You are, though. I mean,
slow down, man. Hold on. Yeah, I'm from Indiana. You guys don't just walk up to guys and say you're beautiful. Like, not on the street I come from. It's like, hold on, bro. I appreciate you, but all right. He said, like literally, that's where it was. He was like, no. Are you an actor? And I said, no. He said, well, do you want to be? I know, that's what I said, baby.
Exactly. The same weight.
I said, I don't know, what does that entail? And he said, well, I'm auditioning a play, and I'd love for you to audition. And being from Indiana, I had heard about casting couches. So I said, hold on, man, what do you mean audition? What is that? And he said, oh, no, it's not whatever you're thinking. I'm gonna give you the dialogue. I'll give you a piece of paper. It'll have your lines on it. You read them, and however they make you feel, say it just like that. And I said, that's it. Like, you're not touching me, I'm not touching you, there's not gonna be somebody coming from the back. He was like, no, that's all, I promise, that's all. And I said, okay, sure, I'll try it. And I auditioned for it. It was a children's theater piece. I got the part, the first audition I ever had in my life, and it was called East of the Sun, West of the Moon, and I played the North Wind. I got the part.
beautifully.
Yeah, he was very energetic.
Did that take beans?
No, it wasn't that story.
Not a method actor, no.
So I ended up getting the part, declaring my major in theater, and I didn't declare a minor. I told my mother, I said, Mama, I'm an actor. And she said, okay, baby, but what are you gonna do to make money? And I said, I'm gonna make this work somehow. Who knew 13 years later I'd be sitting with my brother and my cousins and people that love me around the world for something that I never knew I would do. So thank you guys.
Guys, we always hear that being on Star Trek can change an actor's life. And we've heard the pros and the cons.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, aside from the free drinks, for each of you up and down the line again, how did being on Star Trek, and as many times as most of you were, change your lives?
Well, I've been coming to these conventions for maybe 20 years, and I just love talking to the fans a lot. I think there's some actors who don't like that intermingling, but I enjoy it, and I love hearing the feedback, because on a film set you don't get much feedback except from the director. It's either like this or we're going again. Or if you have trouble with your work, it's let's print that and punch in, which means they're going to chop your performance up, which is just
what that means?
But yeah,
I hear it all the time.
But yeah, this has been great. And one of the more recent ways it's affected my life is this new gig planned for you all, which is, I hope you enjoy our music, because we're having a ball doing it, and I'm coming to these things anyway, and they said, well, you can play rock and roll too, and rock for all your friends, and God dang, I've died and gone to heaven, so I'm a happy lad.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
Vaughn?
Yeah, well, one thing is it allows me to buy shoes just like these guys. Yeah, it has changed my life enormously. First off, because Julie Lowry Johnson was nice enough to cast us in.
God bless her.
And she does tons of shows, so she also cast me in all of those. So it kind of gave me a persona that I didn't have before.
Aren't you in the Guinness Book of Records for having done the most number of Star Trek roles?
I don't know if I'm in Guinness or not, but it's a fact that I have done more roles than anybody, actually. 12 different roles.
And saves my life in Enterprise, by the way. How about this guy?
That's a
Saves my life.
in Enterprise. Wow. Was it the first time I did 4 roles in Enterprise?
Well, Well, in retrospect, I just want to thank you.
You're welcome. You know, and also, like Gary, the music has changed my life. I have a band, the Enterprise Blues Band. You guys know what that? Wait, no, and the Rat Pack. You guys come to see the Rat Pack? Yeah. Reminds me of some of the most fun I've ever had, and we meet wonderful people all over the world. It's taken me to nearly 30 countries and 9 cruises, and I'd never been on a cruise before. Yeah, you know. And
the Rat Pack is playing tonight. Let me give a plug.
yes, we are.
Number one, and number two,
It's a great show.
on StarTrek.com, we did a really fun interactive interview with all the guys in the band. If you want to read a really funny piece, check it out. It ran a couple of days ago. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm
Well,
just
that's all right.
plugging your evening.
I pretty much said it. I come from a very poor family. The first place I lived, remember living, was in a tent in the desert. And this has changed all that. So again, I want to
You're back
thank
in the
all
desert.
you guys for this.
You're back in the desert.
I occasionally go take a tent in the desert just to remember.
And Connor?
Yeah, you know, jobs come and go. Some roles are really suited for you and some aren't. And some last longer than others, and that's the life of an actor. And if you're so fortunate enough to get on a show, that's a wonderful thing. Having said that, it's you guys. I mean, at the end of the day, echoing what these two were talking about, you know, I've gone all over the world meeting versions of you guys. Really, really enjoying that. You know, look, at the end of the day, I'm the entertainment. You all come together because you get to see each other once a year, maybe twice, I don't know how often a year, maybe once. And it's so nice to see that, be a part of that, and to know that I'm also a part of what brings you all together to be together. And that's really ultimately the end. These days, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, you guys make lifelong friends here, and people get married at these conventions. I've walked a couple of people down the aisle, and it is just fantastic to see all this love for each other. It's truly very cool.
Everybody says that they've been to a lot of different conventions, but the Star Trek conventions are different. There's a sense of love and wonderment and positive vision and attitude toward the future that is unparalleled. And it's because of you guys. It's because of Gene Roddenberry starting it, but it's because of you guys keeping it up. Thank you.
And Anthony, you want to jump in there, too?
Life changed because, like Vaughn, I didn't start out in a tent, but we were damn sure broke. Ramen noodles, I can't stand those to this day. I went out to LA with a dream of doing something to make my family proud. That was it. That was literally the extent of it. My grandmother, I don't know if you guys are jazz enthusiasts, but my grandfather was Wes Montgomery, a jazz legend.
I mean, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, Gary, we've known each other forever. I love Gary, and we've never talked about it. Yeah, that was my granddad. And
Are you a musician too?
No, sir. No, sir. I can play Amazing Grace. That's the extent of it, and not very well. So, no, I'm an actor. But my granddad did it during a time where blacks were supposed to be seen and not heard, and in the case of musicians, heard and not seen. So my grandmother definitely did not want me to move out to LA because she does not like California. She doesn't trust the people in California. And she's from Canton, Mississippi. She gave me $3,000 and bought me an 87 Accord LX with 162,000 miles on it. And she said, "You be careful. You be careful." I said, "Grandma, I'm gonna go out and I'm going to somehow get a job to make our family proud. I have no idea what it's gonna be." I auditioned. It didn't come, I started in 2001. We didn't get this till 2005. So it was a long time before, it was a long road getting from okay, I'm sorry. When I got the call, and I'm sitting in my agent's office, and they called and she said, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? You're calling to do a pickup for Anthony Montgomery, who just booked the role of Travis Mayweather, and I was looking at a low-budget feature script when she was on the phone, and I heard that, and I threw the script in the air and screamed like a little girl. Because everything changed. And then I called my mother, and I said, Mom, I did it. I knew what Star Trek was growing up, but my family aren't Trekkies. They just, she said, be careful, get a job, and don't get hurt, and don't take no wooden nickels. That's what my grandmother always used to say. I didn't understand what that meant. The guy nodded his head. Like, I'd never heard that, but my grandmother had said that since I was a kid, and I was like, don't take no wooden nickels. And then I got in Hollywood, and I said, oh, that's what she means. Got it. And it was because of you that I was able to say, Grandma, I've given myself and our family stability for the rest of my life. So much like them, this is just literally because of the love that you guys have for us. So you changed my life in ways that I can only, I can just say thank you. That's all.
Hey guys, why don't we open it up to questions from the fans?
Just out of curiosity though, was that low budget, was that Leprechaun in the Hood?
No, I did a Leprechaun. I'm a part of the Leprechaun franchise. I played.
How are those conventions, Anthony?
I've never been to one. I've never been to one.
I don't know what you're missing.
Well, I just, no, because as an actor, it's your job to go audition. Like, I've never been paid for an audition either. I love that. I would have taken $10. I would have taken $5 for an audition.
$10 was a lot of money.
But absolutely. No,
Our job is to get a job.
Our job is to get a job. As an actor, your job is the audition. So when you get one, I'm reading, like Soul Plane. I remember it, like the first page, it was a purple plane with gold Daytons. Those are spokes that you put on a car. And I was like, I'm not gonna be in a movie with spokes. What are you talking about? So when I get the untitled Star Trek series, because it wasn't called Enterprise at the time, it was just, hey, they've been looking for this guy that's gonna fly the ship for this new untitled Star Trek series. I just said, okay, I'll give it everything I have. And I did, just like all the other low budgets. And then it so happens that you guys said yes, and you've been loving us ever since. So again, thank you.
You said Soul Plane, right? That was Snoop Dogg, right?
Yeah.
I interviewed Snoop Dogg for that movie.
Man, there's now see,
And he mentioned you. No.
So for the people that got it, it was great because it was a who's who of Black Hollywood.
Right.
But they didn't want me. I was just a nobody who.
But you're so beautiful.
Yeah, they don't care. This is Hollywood, man. Hollywood's full of beautiful people.
What are you, his mother?
You know that.
Let's go to the fans. Gentleman on my left over there.
That's a nice outfit, young man.
Hello. Yeah, first of all, Anthony, you may not be a musician, but you rocked my guitar at karaoke.
Nice. Oh, did you guys go to karaoke the other night? That's what he's talking about. Yeah, we did it in. That's why my voice is still trying to come back. Go ahead.
Forgive me, I'm a little nervous, but I'm a Las Vegas local. I want to welcome you guys back to town.
Thank you.
After the last time you guys were here last year, we had our own Zinni attack on October 1st. And it was really devastating to locals, but also inspiring how the community came together. And I think it, just like you guys did on the show. But I noticed you guys got canceled prematurely, 12 years no Star Trek on the air, and it just seems like the world has just gone downhill because we have no role models. So my question is, for anybody, what do you think we can do to get back on track to a Roddenberry future when our current president represents the opposite of everything that Starfleet stands for?
Okay, wait, before you guys get mad at him, everybody needs their voice. I knew where this was going. We're not gonna make this political, but that's what he's doing, so don't you guys shut him down. I know y'all don't wanna hear that. I get it, we wanna keep this positive, so just, what can we do? Just keep spreading love. That's a very simple answer for me. Just
Get over that.
love, and that will combat any negativity that is in the world. Just keep throwing out love, and that will come back.
Right on.
However you feel about, the world, politics, whatever, For you, it ebbs and it flows. And so for somebody right now, it's flowing. And for somebody else, it's ebbing. But it is a tide. It goes back and forth. And that's one of the great things about our country and a democracy, is that you have a history of that actually occurring. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, well, in Germany, I went to a middle school that was full of kids that came from places in conflict, war-torn nations. And the school was based after a Gene Roddenberry philosophy. We went there, and all of our pictures were on the wall, painted by all the kids, and all of that. And they believe that peace, hope, and unity is the Gene Roddenberry philosophy, actually. So he says, spread love, and that's doing it. Emphasize peace, hope, and unity. And we need that now, at this time, more than ever. So just keep on doing what you're doing. Spread love, like Anthony says. That's it.
Right on. I echo that. And in a free democratic republic, we have free elections, and everybody has an equal voice at the polling place. And sometimes after an election, some people are happy, some people are not happy. But as Connor said, the tide shifts back and forth. And that's the wonderful thing about our great experiment called America. We can try different things. The states, we try different things in a state. You can learn from them. You can learn a good lesson or a bad lesson, and alter your own state accordingly. You choose anybody to be president that you want to follow, that has a good idea. And some people are going to be disappointed, some people are going to be ecstatic, and we'll see what works. And the best you can do as an individual is make yourself the best you can be, and always strive for excellence.
And vote. And vote.
Vote.
You don't vote, you can't complain. That's right. That's right. You don't vote, you can't complain.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you for that answer.
Let's go to the right.
Vegas strong.
Hey, we know you. Hello.
Hey guys, good to see you all again.
You too.
So you guys were talking about how this franchise has changed your lives and how much it's impacted you. So through your experience with the franchise as a whole and your time on set, I was wondering, what's the most valuable lesson you learned that really struck you and stuck with you?
When we started, 9/11 happened shortly thereafter, and it changed our show, it changed everybody. And at that time, you know, I had just gotten, like you had said, Anthony, I had just gotten the job of my life, and I knew it. And at that moment, after that occurred, I was really lost, as probably a lot of people were. And I was wondering if what I was doing was in any way impactful or making a difference in the way that I thought I should when this occurred. Really struggling with this. And had a conversation with my father and shared this with him, and I was like, I'm really having a hard time right now. And he was like, you know, I kind of disagree with what you're saying, is that, you know, what you're doing, it doesn't matter, it's not impactful, it doesn't make a difference. Is that you happen to be, you're fortunate that you're on a show and a part of a franchise that has a particular ethos about it, that is what is the best of humanity and humanness. And that's your responsibility right now, because we need it. And it just turned everything I thought on its ear and changed the way I felt about what I was doing, and it kind of changed that forever. So that was the most impactful thing for me. It set me right in recognizing that what I did and do isn't just entertainment sometimes. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. And this particular experience with Star Trek has been more than just entertainment.
That's very nice. I would like to echo that and just add on to the biggest takeaway for me being involved with Star Trek and the Gene Roddenberry universe is I've realized how we're all the same. We all want the same. We all want love and excellence and advancement for ourselves, our culture, our people, our species. and that seemed to be the echoing theme throughout Star Trek. And people get frustrated because they don't think they're getting what they need right now, and quite often a little patience will help, a little endurance and persistence and working together. I remember watching Star Trek, and I was amazed as a kid to see Captain Kirk going in and contacting other species, and there would be conflict because people have differences and they look different or they have different habits and whatnot. But somehow, toward the end of the show, they would find a common connection, a bond that would unite them, and they would both learn from each other. And I just thought, what a noble paradigm for human interaction. And I just love being a part of that because of that.
Great question. Thank you.
Boy,
To the left.
you guys all went to college, didn't you?
I spent a long time in college.
Using words like paradigm and that kind of stuff.
Connor, you went twice?
Yeah, twice.
Well, I'm going to echo my friend Casey Biggs, who is also in the Rat Pack and in the Enterprise Blues Band. He says, yeah, there you go. Give it up for Casey.
He's got a fan.
Yeah, he always says, approach everything you do like it's the most important thing in the world, and do it with all your heart. And add to that, do it because you love life and the people in it, and you'll change the world. You'll change the world.
And I, much like Connor, did not realize that what we were about to do was going to be as impactful as it was because of 9/11, that obviously what we were doing was needed more than ever. And then over the years, Connor and I have sat, I've sat with Dom and John, so many people coming up to us and telling us that what we did as entertainers helped get them through their days. I've learned that we are not just actors like that, whoever that correspondent was that told LeBron James to just shut up and dribble. Don't tell us to just shut up and act, because what we do actually matters. It may not matter to you, but there are people out there that are going through so much more than you are. And what we do, exactly what Casey told Vaughn, you do your best, and your best is going to shine and give other people hope. So that's the biggest lesson that I've learned from it, is just keep being your best, and other people's lights will keep coming to the surface.
Thank you. Over there on the left.
That was perfect, actually, of all of us. I grew up watching Voyager and Enterprise. Every week we'd sit down as a family and watch it.
Thank you, you were one of the 3 people, thank you. Oh, stop, y'all, they were all 4, there were at least 4 that watched.
She was all of the 3 people. Her family sat down to watch it.
Yeah, 4 people. So,
4 people.
it had a hugely positive impact on my life. I was just wondering if you guys had any similar experiences growing up, if there's anything that had that big of an impact. I feel like Star Trek made me a better person just growing up with it.
For me, it was Father Knows Best. The family was gathered around Robert Montgomery and Robert Young, and Robert Young.
He just likes my last name.
I
love you.
Anthony Montgomery, Robert Young, and Jane Wyatt, and with Eleanor Donahue, Billy Gray, and Lauren Chafin in Father Knows Best. It was a family thing, but you know what? It really screwed my life up because my dad we'd have little squabbles and fights and whatnot, and my dad would say, "Couldn't you be? Father Knows Best. The family works together, and they're getting along. And Mom, can I help with the dishes? And I don't see you guys doing that." So Robert Young made my life unbearable.
Well, if there's a show that impacted my life, it would have been the original Star Trek. My dad and I used to sit and watch that every chance we got, and he did until the day he died when I got on that show. Well, on that show. It's one of 2 I haven't done. But he was thrilled. it boosted his life because it boosted mine. And I guess that was the show that impacted me.
Connor?
Evil Knievel. No joke.
Snake Canyon?
Evil Knievel, yeah, well that was the twilight of it all, but it's sort of funny, but he failed a lot, and he failed in a huge way, and broke bones, and also there was such drama with him that, he was like, I don't know if I can do it, I don't know if I can put the cape on, I don't know if I can do it. And sometimes he did, and sometimes he didn't, and sometimes he had some epic failures, and sometimes he had some brilliant successes. But he never gave up, and there was something about him and that time I must have been from the age of like 6 to 9, he was really in his zenith, and I tried jumping a lot of things that I shouldn't have jumped.
How did that go?
Sometimes it went well, and sometimes it didn't go well. But I knew that I gotta keep on pushing.
Who was that actor? George Montgomery?
George Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah, George says, Evil Knievel. Yes.
Yeah. And the cape helped.
For me, there were a couple. So, Leave It to Beaver was one.
Wow.
But it was because I didn't believe that there were actually families out there, because y'all don't know what my family was like. There was no June Cleaver in my house. And I'm like, man, that's not real. Nobody does. No mom is out there just being nice and saying, hey, Beav, it's okay. Everything's gonna be awesome, and you just go be, all right, whatever.
You want some cake?
You want some, all right, and mommy will make you a bath, and I was like, what house is that? I want a house like that. And Connor's heard this, and I hate when y'all ask serious questions because I'm a real guy, and then I've got to give a real answer. And I say I hate, but obviously I love you guys. The Klan in our country came to prominence in my hometown. So when I saw the original series, and I saw a black woman who was not being treated like I was as a kid. She was only treated with respect. She was only treated with love. For me to walk around a city in Indianapolis and have somebody say, nigga, go back where you're from, at 6 years old, and not even understand what that meant. Go home and say, mommy, why would this man say this? To know that there was some life out there where that didn't happen, it gave me something to strive for too. I never planned on being a part of that franchise, but it still gave me something to look forward to and say, no, it's not going to always be like this. Don't you worry about it, because no matter what happened, if they got shot at or anything happened, any conflict that happened with them, they always figured out a way to work it out. And I figured, okay, no matter what I'm sitting in the middle of right now, it's going to get better than this at some point. Have no idea how, so just keep God first, and eventually your stuff is going to work out. And it's done.
Hey guys, we just have a few minutes left. There's a little boy, I'm sorry to break protocol. There's a little boy standing on that line, and I want to make sure we get him in.
Absolutely. Come on up to the mic, buddy, dude.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was wondering, if there was an episode that any of you wanted to do again, what episode would it be?
As in it wasn't done right the first time, or to make it better, or a sequel? What are you talking about?
Because we just loved it.
In the Mirror Darkly. I'd like to do that again. My first 6 hours in that episode was making out with Hoshi. You can't beat that, you know? Can't beat that.
For me, I can't recall the episode, but I was being tortured by Jeffrey Combs, the Andorian, and I don't recall the episode. Anybody help me out? What is it? Kirsara. I was tortured. They had this. Anyway, I was tortured all day in this thing.
And you wanted to torture me.
Yeah, there's a little S&M in me, I guess. But no, it was just such a challenge, an acting challenge to do that, because Vulcans are so good at suppressing all emotions, and this took all the suppression away, and just so all just kind of came unglued, and that was such a miasma of emotions and energies going on all day. And though it was very painful, personally, it was cathartic. When I done it.
He just looked up at her and said, "What's a miasma?"
I love your words, though.
I know. I did go to college, so I gotta get my value out of it.
Do you have a vocabulary book at home? You read occasionally?
Connor, how about you?
It would probably have to be the episode where I died. I mean, I kind of prefer not to die. That would have been better.
And for me, it would have been, because Travis, you never really got to see his family. You never got to see his backstory except for the one episode. So I would do that again just because it was so much fun. We finally got to see where he came from. And I think that I would do it again and not be so nervous, because I remember just being really nervous during that, going, wow, they're finally giving me a backstory. They're finally giving me a history. Don't mess this up. And, you know, I'd probably go into it again and just be a lot more relaxed and see what came. But whatever I did, the fans seemed to love it, so that's all. But thank you for asking.
Great question. You guys, we got about 3 minutes left, so let's do a speed round here, really fast.
Good morning.
Good morning.
For everybody. What is your most funny or memorable moment from the show?
Funny or memorable moment?
I told you mine.
The most memorable for me were any episode where all of us were on stage together, on set together, because it was so rare to get all 7 of us, including Phlox out of sick bay, to be on set. And as you guys have learned, each series is their own family. We're all a part of the Trek family, but these are my brothers for the rest of my life, and brothers and sisters. So it was always so much fun to get out there and just cut up with them, you know, the 3 or 4 episodes that we got to do. Those were the best ones for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the collective memory of the experience. I don't really have a particular one. It was great fun, and there was really nothing negative about it except for, well, getting the plug pulled, but whatever. But yeah, just the collective experience of being there every day and you know, knocking out show after show. That was really...
Ditto on that, but I gotta say a lot of the good feeling on that set was because of Scott Bakula.
Absolutely, Mitch, total Mitch.
Boy Scout, he really is. Any problem anybody had, he would like to help them with it.
Sure would.
You know,
Yeah.
he's just a great guy, and that was contagious through the set.
You move on
Got
to,
along just fine.
as a semi-alternately sometimes happening recurring character as mine, you move into a new set where the regulars have been working for a time, and sometimes it's quite uncomfortable. All that. Scott Bakula went out of his way to make the new guest stars feel so at home and feel so relaxed. And he really led from the top just by example of being a total working professional. He worked hard, but he kept it light, he kept joking, he kept kind of a brotherly attitude. I can't say enough for him.
And this has to be the last question. I am sorry. Make it a good one. No pressure.
Quick question for Vaughn Armstrong. First of all, I first met you almost 20 years ago at Star Trek The Experience. Kind of shout out for them. I really miss them. But my question is, even though you already have the record for the most roles, do you have any plans to extend that on either Discovery or the new Patrick Stewart series?
I'd love to, and you know, I haven't talked to my agents about this. I don't even know if they know that I've done so many Star Treks. But I gotta tell them to get me on both of those shows. I want to be that guy.
You're already that guy.
The man.
And I have a last question. Gary, are you going to play yourself off the stage? How is this going to work?
Yeah, I guess we're making it up. I see the guys.
Can you do me a favor? Introduce the band. These guys have been great, right, everybody?
Yeah, thank you. The band. I'm very, very honored and proud to play with these guys. I found them in some downtown bar late at night, and no, I've been playing with Mike and Mark for a few years, and Neil is new to me, but on guitar extraordinaire, vocal extraordinaire, Mr. Mike Thompson. On bass and vocals, we call him our Puerto Rican Steve Perry, Mr. Mark Rivera. And losing the beat, keeping us all together, is Neil Merzanowski on the skins.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary